welcome to the September edition of My Market Wrap. I'd like to give you all a bit of a brief update as to what has taken place throughout the month of September in 2021. We did actually see a 6.4% price increase in terms of median price for the last quarter, or I should say the first quarter of the 2021-2022 financial year. We've certainly noticed that on the ground. We've certainly noticed that by way of our auction clearance rates and our time on market. What we have noticed, obviously with the spring weather warming up, we are noticing a lot more properties coming onto market, which I think will sort of tip the scales a little bit in terms of buyer demand finally starting to meet that supply within the marketplace. Now, one thing I did want to mention before we start with the top 5 sales of the month is obviously with the shorter time on market being the average days on market, our auction campaigns have become shorter. So what we're doing now is we're running actually 3-week auction campaigns, 2 Saturdays, and then the final being the auction. We've noticed that probably 90% of properties that we're selling at the moment are selling either at auction or in most cases before. So what that means for you as a vendor is, typically speaking, we are finding the best buyers in the marketplace within that first 5 to 10 days of being on market. Now, these buyers are red hot, they're ready to rock and roll, and they are buyers wanting to put money on a contract. So what we're finding is they're coming through the first open for inspection saying, Simon, we want to buy the house, here is an offer. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, we're doing that deal prior to auction. But let's get stuck into what were the top 5 sales for the month in September. First and foremost was number 23 Luckens Road in Bentleigh, a beautiful single level home with a double lock-up garage. That property sold in about 7 days and sold for $2,680,000. Next was a beautiful Edwardian home that I managed to sell virtually via auction. That was number 16 Ames Avenue in Carnegie, a beautiful Edwardian home on 770 square metres of land, and that property sold over a 2.4 reserve for $2,645,000. Next was number 113 Burren Road in Caulfield South, once again a family home that was auctioned virtually, and that property sold for $2,635,000. Number 4 was 19 Clapperton Street in Bentleigh, a corner home, land value proposition, and that property sold for $2,376,000. And last, but certainly not least, was number 3 Hall Street in McKinnon, one of the best streets in McKinnon, a big block of land, some 670 odd square metres of land, and that property sold again virtually via auction for $2,050,000. Buyers, we are leading into the warmer months, and vendors, this is the time when your home does look its best. Buyer demand is certainly up. We have heard that there may be some tightening from the bank's perspective in terms of lending capabilities. So what that might mean is it might mean that buyers, in terms of their capability of spending more, might just feel the pinch a little bit leading into these summer months. So while we're not going to certainly see the price growth that we have seen for probably the last 12 or so months, we are seeing a really strong demand in both the 3204 and the 3165 postcodes. The market's still good, the market's still strong, we're still working, albeit virtually, and for any property needs, feel free to get in touch with me at any point in time. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next month.